out of my place, making a little bit of noise. So I hope that calms down a little bit. So anyways, good morning, happy Friday. My name's Hayley. Thanks for tuning in. Just as a reminder, if you haven't heard already, we're doing in-person classes. We started them last week, just for night classes. So if you want to come to Adventure Rock at the Milwaukee location, or I think they're doing them at Brookfield. I should double check that. We'll be doing our night classes. Morning classes are still being streamed online, not in person. So be sure to check those out too. We're going to get started in a comfortable seat. So you can take Vinyasa sitting on your shins. You can take Sukhasana sitting cross-legged. And just coming into your practice. And coming home to your breath, your mind. Bringing your awareness to the breath. Not making any big changes or adjustments to it. Just noticing if the breath is shallow or deep, wide or thin. A little bit harder to breathe today. Maybe the flow is easily moving in and out of the body. And then bringing the attention to your hands. Notice if they're gripping or resting heavy on the legs. You bring a little bit more softness to the fingertips, palms. Maybe even starting to feel the hands floating off of the legs. So they don't leave the legs, but trying to bring your breath to the space between the legs and the palms. So really creating that lightness. Take a couple wiggles of your jaw side to side. Relax the brow. Let the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Notice how those subtle adjustments automatically bring ease to the body. So again, a couple more rounds of breath here. Your next breath in, you can start to flutter the eyes open. Start to sweep the arms overhead. Maybe the gaze shifts to the top of the room. Just taking a really big stretch here. Maybe it's a first stretch of your morning. And then coming into Kali Mudra. So pointer fingers and thumb fingers are unbound. The other fingers are bound. Take an inhale, reach the fingertips up. And then on your exhale, take the side bend over to the right side. Your gaze can shift down to the right armpit, or maybe to the top of the room, whatever feels best on your neck. Take an inhale through center, and then exhale to the left. Coming up through center, press the heart forward. Bend from the upper back, maybe take a little baby back bend. So nothing super deep. Just opening your heart, opening your collarbones. And then release the fingertips behind the low back. Interlace the fingers once more. And then roll the shoulders down the back, opening the chest once again. And gaze might shift to the top of the room. Maybe the fingers trace the toes. Release the hands. This time, interlace the hands again, but we're taking different variations. So we're going to take it behind the neck. So squeeze the triceps, squeeze the elbows together, and then round the back. Coming into a little upper body, upper back, neck stretch. So you don't need a ton of pressure here. And the next inhale, we're going to open little baby back bend, so warming up the spine. And then exhale, round and squeeze the elbows together. Inhale to open. Exhaling, round. Twice more here with your breath. Next time you're lifted, sweep the arms behind you, then roll over onto all fours. Start to sway your hips side to side, taking micro movements in the morning. And then start drawing these into some circles. So shoulders will draw over the wrists. And visually thinking about drawing these circles, trying to make them as circular, as perfect as you can. So the intent isn't to be perfect, but it's to just draw that awareness, that mindfulness to your practice so much that you're really focusing on the present. So you're not kind of getting out of control. You're reversing the directions, drawing these circles as best as you can. So maybe that means you go a little bit slower. And then making your way through to center. On your next inhale, heart draws forward, sink the belly, lift the gaze, come into your cow pose. On your next exhale, round through the upper, the mid, the low back. Take your cat. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round. Keep flowing with your breath. Maybe lingering in a couple areas that feel nice. And for me, it's in cow pose because my core is a little sore. So it feels great to just stretch out front side of the body. About 2 more rounds. And then when you're ready, tucking the toes, slowly lift your hips back up in space. Make your way to your downward facing dog. And allow any movement that happens naturally just to unfold. So really listening to your body today. If your body wants to wag the tail, if it wants to pedal the feet, maybe you want to just find stillness right away. Just finding that natural, free-form movement of the body. And then when you're ready, coming back to stillness. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and draw the chest back to the tops of the thighs. Keep the gaze at the back of the room. So we're finding a super long spine here. Think about breathing. Let the air flow to the space between the vertebrae. So that creates length in the spinal cord. Length in the neck. All the way out through the top of the head. And then lengthen the legs. Walk the feet a little bit wider than hips width. Start to walk the hands back. Hands can grab opposite triceps. Take a ragdoll at the back of your mat. Knees can have a little bend in them. Sway the upper body back and forth. Let the head hang really heavy here. So there's not a ton of effort. Try not to grip with the feet. Try not to grip the triceps with the fingers. So finding that ease in every pose that we take today. Release the elbows. Walk the feet underneath the hips. Inhale, hands to shins. Adho Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, take a fold. Slowly rise up to standing, no rush. And then sweeping the arms overhead. Press the hips forward. Exhale, Tadasana, draw the hands through heart. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, take a fold. Halfway lift. Walk the hands out, come to a high plank. Pausing here in your high plank. You can take a couple shifts forwards and backwards, just warming up the wrists here. And we'll stop when we shift forward. Take an inhale. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Walk the hands back about a palm print. Squeeze your triceps together. Roll the chest up. Come into a cobra. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhaling lower. One more time to lift. If you want to make your way to an up dog, if you're ready, feel free. Exhaling lower. Tuck the toes, press into the palms, press yourself up, high plank, use your core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full inhale. Full exhale. Lift the heels. Drop the heels over to the left side. Take a little bend in the left knee, right leg long. Gaze can shift underneath the right armpit. So coming into a super deep stretch along the right side. Inhaling, lift the heels through center. Exhale, drop the heels over to the right, bend the right knee. Left leg stays long. Gaze can come under the left armpit. Feel the stretch all the way. It's obvious through the side body, but through the outer hip, the IT band, the calf, honestly, the entire side of the body. Inhale, lift the heels through center. Exhale, lower the heels to the ground. Couple more times. Inhale, lift, press into the palms. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale to lower. Lift the heels, bend the knees, slowly roll your weight, high plank. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips lift, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Exhale, step up, float, top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale to release. Sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And then exhale to your Uttanasana fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, step or hop your way through a chaturanga. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Surya Namaskar 8, twice more. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, step, hop, float, top of the mat. Halfway lift. And fold. Sweep the arms up. Maybe a baby back bend. Exhale, draw the hands to heart. Inhale, arms rise. And then exhaling, fold. Halfway lift. Your journey through your chaturanga, let your exhale carry you through. Full inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhaling, step up, float. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Arms sweep overhead. Baby back bend if it's there. Exhale, hands to heart. Sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Halfway lift. Plant your palms. Step or hop your way, chaturanga. And pausing in your down dog, cuddle up the feet just for a moment. And then walk the feet about mat's width. Walk the hands back up on print. Reach the left hand over to the outside of the right calf. Gaze underneath the right armpit. Little stretch here. Release the left hand. Switching sides, right hand grabs for the left ankle. Releasing the right hand. Walk the feet in, hips width. Left foot stays, right heel rises. Stay here. Keep the leg long and then open up the hip. So hips stack. And then next exhale, bend the knee, draw the knee to the nose. And then step the foot next to the right thumb. Lower the back knee and tuck the toes. Take an inhale to draw the heart forward. And then exhale, shift the hips back, come into Adho Hanumanasana, half splits. Flex the toes back to the face. Just take a moment here, draw the right hip forward, left hip back. Start to crawl the fingertips forward, bend through the knee. Inhale to sweep the arms overhead. And then again, Kali Mudra. Point your finger and thumbs are released, other fingers interlace. Inhale, rise, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, side bend over to the right side. Inhaling through center. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together for balance. Take a side bend over to the left. Inhale, rise. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Then release the hands, interlace behind the low back. Let the fist trace the left thigh. Release the hands to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the left knee, shift the weight forward, come to a standing splits, top of the mat. Keep the breath. Deep inhale, find length. Exhaling, can you fold a little deeper over the standing leg? Drop the left foot next to the right, sink the hips, Utkatasana, chair pose, top of the mat. Holding here. Can you sink a little deeper? Can you soften through the upper body, through the face? Next, inhale, lift the left knee to the chest. Come up to standing. And then try lengthening the left leg out in front of you. And then bend the knee. Lengthen the leg, so using a ton of low core and quad strength. Bend the knee, lift it a little higher. One more time, lengthen the leg. And then shift the heart forward. Come into your Virabhadrasana 3. Arms can stay as they are. Maybe the hands come to the heart. Maybe you take airplane wings. Stay here. Start to soften through the front knee. Touch the back toes down. Inhale up to your high lunge. And then take a bend through the left knee and hover. Finding a little bit of strength here. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Really feeling the outer hips work. One more breath here. And then plant the hands. Touch the right toes back, high plank. Lower through your chaturanga in a downward facing dog. Next, inhale, lengthen the left toes back. Keep the leg long, just stack the hips of just taking a little hip opener here. Then draw the left knee to the nose, holding here, squeeze. Then step the foot between the hands. Lower the back knee and tuck the toe. Draw the heart forward. Find length in the spine. And then shift your hips back. Come into your half splits. Inhale to lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale. Melt the upper body, relaxing that space between the shoulder blades. Sweep the arms overhead, Anjaneyasana. And then taking Kali Mudra, maybe try to interlace the fingers the opposite way. So it might feel super awkward, but just trying to balance things out. Lift the fingertips to the top of the room. Take your side bend over to the left side. Soften the right shoulder. Roll the shoulder down the spine so that avoids any crunching. Inhaling through center. Exhale, side bend over to the other side. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the inner thighs together to find that stability. Inhale through center. Plant the hands to frame the front foot. Actually, let's sweep the arms back up. I want to interlace the hands behind the low back. Try the opposite way. And then draw the fists down the right thigh. Opening the heart again. Baby back bend. And then this time, releasing the hands to frame the front foot. Tuck the right toes, lift the knee. Standing splits, top of the mat. Really getting into the back of the left leg. Take an inhale. Think about lengthening through the spine. And then exhaling to fold over the standing leg. Touch the right toes next to the left. Sink the hips. Utkatasana chair pose. Hold here. Find your breath. Keep the weight in the heels. Toes are soft. Next, inhale, press into the left foot. Draw the right knee to the chest. If it's too much on the shoulders, you can always bring the hands to the heart. And then press the right heel long, avoiding collapsing or tilting the upper body back. So stay strong through the core. Hug the right knee back in, lift it a little higher. Then lengthen the right leg out. Hug the knee in. One more time to lengthen the leg and hold. Start shifting the weight forward. Lift up a little through the left. Just swing the leg back, then lower again through the right hip. Virabhadrasana 3. Option to take a different arm variation. Set a drishti, set a focal point. One more inhale here. Exhale to soften the front knee. Touch the right toes down. Inhale takes you into your high lunge. Exhale to hold. Take a big bend in the right knee, so the right knee should be hovering. Keep the hips squared towards the front of the room. Feel that strength around the hips, in the quads. One more round of breath here. And then let your exhale take you through your chaturanga. Full round of breath here. Full round of breath out. Lift the heels, soften the knees. Step, hop, float. Top of the mat. Halfway lift. And fold. Sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, drawing the hands to heart. Inhale, arms will rise. Baby back bend if it's in your practice. Exhaling, Uttanasana fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands. Chaturanga, or head straight to your downward facing dog. Lift the right heel, keep the leg long. Open up the hip. And then bend the knee. Keep the hip open. And then you can stay here if you want to work a wild thing, if that's a part of your practice. Draw the knee to the nose. Pause. Squeeze the right heel to the glute. Then step the foot next to the right thumb. Keep the left knee lifted. Draw the heart forward. And then on your next exhale, lift the hips back, both legs long. Shift the weight to the front foot. Start to take this into your standing splits. Start to soften the left knee behind the right. And then come down onto seated just for a little bit. Reach the arms overhead, and then we'll take a twist over to the right side. Catch the elbow to the other thigh. Release the hands to frame the front foot. Make your way down or up into your standing splits once again. Then step the left foot next to the right, Utkatasana chair pose. Sink a little deeper. Keep sinking. And then lengthen the right leg. Draw the left knee to the chest. Lengthen the leg out in front. Keep the arms lifted. 3 times here, bend the knee. And then lengthen the leg again. Working on that strength. Bend the knee. Lengthen. One more time, lift. And lengthen. Shift the weight forward. Take this into your warrior 3 or airplane pose. And then soften through the front knee. Touch the toes down. Sweep the arms overhead. High lunge. This time, interlace the hands behind the low back. Draw the fists down to trace the hips. Open the heart up. And then we'll take a modified humble warrior. So you can rest the right shoulder on top of the right thigh, or try to draw the shoulder to the inside of the thigh. Wherever you're taking this, squeeze the inner thighs together. Stay lifted in the left heel. Let the head drop. I know it might feel scary, but avoid cranking the neck. And then releasing the hands, the inside of the right foot. Start to pivot your weight to Skandasana at the back of your mat. Sink the hips towards the left heel. And draw the hands to your heart. Maybe left fingertips reach on the outside of the left leg. Right fingertips come to the sky. You can stay here if you'd like to work a half bind or full bind too, if that feels nice. And then release the hands, crawl yourself forward again. Plant the hands. Step your way back high to low plank. Lift the left heel, keep the leg long. Opening up your hip. And then bend the knee. You can stay here if you want to work your wild thing. And taking this back into 3-legged dog. Next exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Hold here. And then step the foot next to the left thumb. Inhale to draw the heart forward. Exhaling, hips lift back, lengthen both legs. Release the gaze to the back of the room. And this time, shift the weight forward into your standing splits. And then drawing the right knee behind the left. And then let the leg fall. The shin come to the outside edge of the left foot. Come now to seated for a beat. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhaling, take your twist to the left side. So I haven't worked a ton of twists in practice yet. So being easy on your spine, try not to force anything. Release the hands. So frame the front foot. Use the strength to lift you up. Standing splits just for a moment. And then stepping the right leg next to the left. Sink your hips, Utkatasana chair. Try to sink a little deeper. Weight is in the heels. Keep sinking deeper. And then press into the left leg. Right knee comes to the chest. Start to lengthen the right leg out in front. And then hug the knee up higher. Lengthen. Flexing the toes. And then hug the knee in. One more time to lengthen. Lift up through the right hip. Swing the leg back. Take this into your Virabhadrasana 3. Lower through the right hip again. Keeping the hips nice and square. Soften through the front knee. Land the back toes. Inhale, high lunge. And then exhale, interlacing the hands the non-habitual way behind the low back. Sweep the fists down the right leg. Opening your heart skyward. And then using your core, shift your way forward into your humble warrior variation. Again, let the top of the head release to the earth. Keep hugging the legs together so that creates that balance, that stability. Keep squeezing the palms together. Releasing the hands on the inside of the left foot. Walk your way to the back of your mat. Sink the hips towards the right heel, Skandasana. Hands to heart, or maybe the right hand reaches out wide. Left fingertips to the sky. And stay here again. Work a half or full bind. Releasing the hands. Walk your way forward, pivot the feet. High to low plank. Meaning in your downward facing dog. Let the knees fall wide. Take a wide-legged child's pose. Come down onto your forearms. Let the forehead rest on the mat. And just a moment here to catch your breath. And you can start to crawl the fingers forward. Lift the hips off the heels. Take this into Anahata Asana, your puppy pose. You can relax the forehead or the chin on the earth. Stay lifted through the palms, so staying on fingers. Keep the elbows lifted. So super active, very strong pose here. Avoiding collapsing in the back. Keep the core engaged. Walk the hands back in. Come into a table pose. Inhale, right fingers rise. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Taking this into thread the needle. Left hand can rest in front of the face, or maybe left fingertips walk to the front of the room. Walk the left hand back in front of the face. Sweep the right fingers to the sky. And then lower the right hand down. Switching sides. Left fingers will rise. And then thread the arm underneath the right. Right hand can stay, or maybe walk the fingers to the front of the room. Walk the right fingers back in, plant into the hand, lift the left fingers overhead. And then meet in table pose. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Press the chest back to the tops of the thighs, finding that length once again in the spine if we lost it throughout practice. And then gaze shifts forward, step hop floats for the mat, halfway lift, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Arms sweep out and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, draw the hands through heart. One more time, working a standing sequence before we slow it down. Reach the arms overhead, and then exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Lift the right heel. Open the knee, open the hip. You can work another wild thing, or you can just stay lifted and open. When you're ready, draw the knee to the nose. Step the foot next to the right thumb. Inhaling on your fingertips, draw the heart forward. Exhaling, lift the hips back. Shifting the weight forward. Come into your standing splits. Play with shifting the weight to the toes, maybe lifting the heel. Draw the knee closer to the nose. Step the left foot next to the right. Weight in the heels, Utkatasana, chair pose. Start lowering the hips. Keep lowering. Use the strength of your legs to hold. And then all the way down onto the glutes, Navasana, boat pose. Let's draw the fists together at the chest. Lengthen the right leg. Draw the right elbow to the left knee. Come through center. Switching sides. Keep flowing side to side. So really working the core here. Taking a little core break. Taking about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one, holding in your boat pose. Land the feet. Whoop. Actually, you might need to rock and roll and then come back up to your chair pose just for a beat. Press into the right foot, draw the left knee to the chest. And then just one time here, we'll lengthen the leg out. And then take this right away into your warrior 3 pose. In your warrior 3, interlace the hands behind the low back. Pull the shoulders down the back, soften through the right knee. Land the left toes, inhale, draw the fists down the left leg, open the heart. And then exhale, take this into humble warrior. Releasing the hands. The inside of the right foot. This time, let's just take a wide-legged forward fold. So toes in, heels out. Inhale, hands underneath the shoulders, halfway lift. Exhale, take this into your fold. You can find that any different arm variation you want to work, maybe an inversion if you're ready for that. And keep the weight in the toes, maybe even play with lifting the heels, maybe one, maybe both at a time. Press into the hands. Walk your way forward. Chaturanga. And inhale, left heel rises. Opening up the hip. You can bend the knee. Taking another wild thing. Or just hanging out here. When you're ready, draw the knee to the nose. Pause. Step the foot next to the left thumb. Inhale, shine the heart forward. Exhale, lift your hips back. Shift the weight into the front foot, standing splits. And then touch the right toes next to the left. One more Utkatasana here. Keep sinking the hips lower. Keep hugging the inner thighs together, finding that sweet spot where it's super challenging. And then lower down onto the sits bones, Navasana boat pose. Holding here. This time we'll take our hands in a prayer and then switching out the sides. So a little modified bicycle variation. You want to keep both legs long and scissoring the legs, a little bit more challenging. Take this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. Then rock and roll, maybe once, maybe twice. Come up to Utkatasana. And then press into the left foot. Draw the right knee to the chest. One time here, lengthen the leg out. And then take this into Warrior 3. Interlace the hands behind the low back. Maybe take the grip the non-habitual way. Then landing in your crescent warrior. Right away, draw the fist down the right leg, open the heart. And then exhaling, taking this into your humble warrior. Release the hands on the inside of the left foot. Walk your way over to the right side of your room, your mat. Heels in, toes in, heels out. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, your fold, your variation, your wide-legged forward fold. And again, keep the weight in the toes, so keeping the hips in line with the heels. When we sink the hips past the heels, we're really avoiding that stretch in the posterior chain of our body. Walk the hands back in. Pivot your feet. Step your way back. This time, meeting in a high plank. And then we'll lower all the way down onto the belly. Reach the fingertips behind the low back to interlace. Next, inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Reach the fist to the back of the room. Lift the toes, Loka Shalabhasana variation. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep the neck long. Let the breath rock up and down the body. And then releasing. Press yourself back into a child's pose. And then coming up to seated, scoot the hips off to one side. Lengthening the legs out in front of you. Paschimottanasana, sweep the arms overhead. And then hinging at your hips, reach as far forward as you can, then take your fold. Releasing back up. Let's draw these fingers to our big toes. And then we'll come into a Navasana. So try lengthening both of the legs. You can stay here with the chest lifted, or you can maybe start to widen the legs out. Keep the core engaged. Keep the collarbones broad. And then drawing the legs back through center. Releasing the toes, holding in your Navasana for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down into a low boat. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, full body stretch here. And drawing the knees to the chest. Lift the hips off to the right side. Let the legs fall over to the left. Take a supine twist. Hug the knees through center. Let them fall over to the opposite side, maybe scooching the hips off to the left. And hugging the knees in. Give yourself one last big squeeze here. Maybe the chin reaches the knees, maybe lift the shoulder blades. And then taking up space on your mat. Allowing the body to release and feel light on the mat. Letting the eyes close. Letting the breath go, lips feel apart. And so it's so important that we cherish and soak up this yin portion of class. So in our everyday lives, we tend to go, go, go. Even in some of our yoga classes, like what I just taught is more of a yang, more of an energetic state. So trying to balance out those moments in your life, in your practice today, taking more of a yin approach of stepping back, pausing, reflecting, catching your breath. And finding that natural flow of the breath. And preparing the body so that you can start again. So we stop so that we can collect ourselves, so that we can give from a glass that is full. And please stay here for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, however much time you can offer yourself for this space. Shavasana. Namaste.